Hello, friends. This is for a small group for the last week of September and praying that all are doing well. We are mostly surviving, right? Mostly surviving. So, this week we are looking at salt, and I lifted up two passages. The first is Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 through 17. So, I invite you to reread that. And then the second comes from 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 19 to 22. So I talked more about the other passage, but I want to talk about the 2 Kings passage a little bit. So we have Elisha, who has taken over the mantle from the prophet Elijah and is able to do miracles in the Lord's name. Is a mighty prophet for God. And so the people have settled in this land and the city in Jericho, but they've noticed something. They've noticed that the people are getting really sick, and in fact, all the women are miscarrying. So they're not able to procreate. And so they're really concerned for multiple reasons. And so they contact Elisha, and Elisha comes and kind of assesses what's going on and recognizes that it is the water. And in fact, the people say the water is bad and the land is unfruitful. So the trees are dying. They're kind of like that fig tree from last week. They are not producing fruit. And so this is not a healthy place for the people to be. And so what happens is Elisha throws salt into the spring where the water source, and suddenly the water changes. And so we don't know what happens, right? Was it the pH level? Whatever it is, suddenly things are much better. The land is now more fruitful. The women are able to carry full-term babies and to procreate. And so the people are no longer in danger of truly dying out. And how scary that must have been for them. And so salt is here preserving life, truly preserving life. And so think about, are there other instances in the Bible where you think about salt and saltiness? Of course, in our Matthew text, we are called to be salty, to stay salty. I'm wearing my salty shirt. That reminder that we are called to be the ones who preserve, and we are the ones who help unlock the wonderful flavors. And we are the ones who are to help God to do that and to not lose our saltiness. We are called to be those small granules who do something different. So we've been having samples some Sundays at church, and I was tempted this week to bake a baked good and leave out the salt. And most recipes, I love to bake. I'm the baker in the family, so I love to bake. Most recipes call for a small amount of salt, like often a teaspoon or less. But it's amazing that small amount of salt does an amazing job of unlocking flavors. And when you leave it out, you taste a difference. However, I decided I didn't really want to eat it and that most people would probably not eat it. So I didn't want to waste the food. So just think about it. Or if you are feeling up to it, make something at your house and leave out all the salt and see if you can taste a difference. Again, it often is just a little bit of salt that does a lot. And so we are called to do that. We are called to be that salt in our homes, in our workplaces, at church, of course. All around the world, we are called to be those places that preserve God's goodness, to preserve God's teachings, that proclaim it through our words and our actions. So how can you stay salty this week? Again, not the Urban Dictionary, the not as great salty, but instead as Christ calls us to do. All right, friends, I hope you're having an awesome week. And as always, please let me know how I can be praying for you.